Okay, yeah. So this black rubber pipe that we see behind us is where the truck enters here, and we then release the tank and the spawners that we caught down in Forshaga, 8 hydropower plants down, are released in this tube and find their freedom in the water downstreams, and they start swimming up to their spawning sites about 100 kilometers from here, upstream from here. The Whooshh system is an American system that we introduced and installed in Forshaga a couple of years ago, and it helps us putting the fish from the holding tank to the truck. It's a solution that fits Forshaga and our operations there very well. There's really no alternative because there's 8 hydropower plants between the sections in the river that still are there for the salmon, free-floating part of the river, and Lake Vänern. So if we were supposed to build fishways, for instance, at these 8 plants, high-efficient fishways, the fish would still not have the energy to make it all the way up. We've been using this trap and transport method here in Klarälven since 1933. It's a success story because we had records in catch in 2020 with over 1,600 wild spawners caught and transported, and last year was this all-time record, over 2,200 spawners. So we hope that that number will increase. The trap and transport system consists of different measures. The first one is when we catch the fish in Forshaga hydropower plant, the lowermost in the river. First the trout comes, and then the salmon comes. We catch them and we keep them in a holding tank. Actually they catch themselves because it's a system that, so we don't have to do anything. They end up in this holding tank. When there's enough fish, we go there and register them, and then we use this Whooshh system, and we put them up on the truck. The truck goes up to this site, and we release them in the river. It is important to further develop different kinds of fishway technologies, and you know, we have this big project in Klarälven, the biggest fishway construction work in Swedish history, but we still don't know if it will work, and a lot of it is unknown territory. We don't know exactly which measures that will have this positive impact that we're all looking for. If we don't do this, you know, 10 years or so, the salmon population would be extinct. So if we don't do this, it will not manage to reproduce. So that's why it's important to find new innovations and solutions. What the future holds, nobody knows, but we've been looking into several, or identified and tested several completely new innovations when it comes to fishway and measures around that. And I think that we will find some really good measures that are very cost effective, that will mean that we can carry on with our hydropower productivity, but that we also can do really good benefits for the local environment.